Have you ever wondered what it would be like to stay overnight at a real-life ghost ship? At some point, would you be able to catch some sleep or stay up all night vigilant of anything out of ordinary? Would you know if the air starts to become super chilly than usual? What would you feel upon seeing a silhouette on the darker side of the room in the middle of the night, or waking up at dawn with a dark figure standing at the end of the bed? I know, it would be freaking horrifying. Hi everyone, I'm Jane Lee, and welcome back to the Top 10 channel. Today, we are counting down our top picks for the top 10 scary Queen Mary ship theories. The Queen Mary was launched in 1936 and was considered as the longest ship, measuring up to 1,100 feet long. Wow, the ship is even longer than the Eiffel Tower. It's massive, faster, and more powerful than Titanic. At that time, it was the most elegant passenger ship ever built. You could just imagine how lavish parties would be during the evenings on board Queen Mary, being it known to board not only the elite, but the most popular celebrities, artists, and even political dignitaries of that time. It might look like the galas in the palaces. But Queen Mary was able to make 1,001 trips, including a transport vessel, during World War II, before it was decommissioned in 1967. Today, it can be found permanently docked in Long Beach, California as a luxury hotel, and with its history, a living museum. However, what made the Queen Mary one of the top 10 haunted places in the world? For this list, we are going to check out the top 10 scary Queen Mary ship theories that have let it earn its name as one of the most haunted places on Earth. I assure you, this is not for the faint-hearted. Although these theories might just scare every morsel of your being, it is a great paranormal adventure. So if you're up for it, sit back, try to relax as we go on with our list. At number 10, Curious Ghosts. Through its existence, the Queen Mary has witnessed 50 deaths and great tragedies in World War II. During the war, the ship was repurposed to transport soldiers and prisoners alike. There are 346 rooms in the ship, plus 3 bars, 3 restaurants, 2 pools, and more. According to some paranormal investigators and psychics who have visited the ship, it houses hundreds of ghosts lurking at every nook and cranny of the ship. Why did we say the ship has curious ghosts? Some guests of the ship say that sometimes they wake up having someone poking their faces or pulling out their blankets and noticing a black figure standing at the end of the bed. Even daytime, visitors have experienced a few incidents of small hair and clothes tugging during their visits, and frequent sightings of ethereal figures at darker areas of the ship. Now, just imagine how curious could these ghosts get during nighttime. At number 9, the fall of HMS Curaçao. HMS Curaçao was an escort ship for bigger ships or transport vessels. As mentioned earlier in this video, the Queen Mary was used during World War II. It was on October 2, 1942, while the Queen Mary was transporting soldiers. The HMS Curaçao was serving its purpose by escorting the ship to Glasgow from New York. Curaçao was zigzagging in front of Queen Mary to confuse potential enemies. The Queen Mary was running at 28.5 knots, unexpectedly caught up to the HMS Curaçao and had split it in half. On board Curaçao was more than 400 people, and it was reported that only 99 of them had survived the tragedy. Some passengers on the ship died instantly upon collision. Some died freezing in the cold water. Others sank, being caught up in the ship. And for those who didn't die from hypothermia, was carried in and was chopped up when hit by the Queen's propeller. The incident contributed to making the Queen Mary haunted. Some say you can hear whispers, whimpers, and loud screams at the boiler room, where it is where the Queen Mary made contact with Curaçao. At number 8, Little Ghost Girl Jackie and the Pool Room 1. This is the first installment of a second segment, Pool Room Ghost Stories. On its glory days, both of the pool rooms in the Queen Mary was more than a picturesque view. It is a definite work of art, made with marbles and tiles. However, since the Queen Mary was converted into a hotel and a museum, a little girl started to play at the pool. As most witnesses say, she usually likes to play in the pool room. Others have reported that you can hear Jackie laughing and enjoying her time at the sides of the pool or even splashing some water, but you can't just see her. Some even say they were able to see Jackie, but when she notices you, she immediately runs away from you, turns her back as if she wants you to follow her. Once you take a step, she disappears into thin air. Then, witnesses say, after seeing her disappear, you can actually see spide wet footprints leading to the deck or the changing rooms. That's just freaking creepy. It gives me the chills already. At number 7, Ghost Ladies in Pool Room 2. Now that you know the little lady ghost in the pool room, let's meet the rest. A few ladies seem to enjoy the pool room too. Some have named her Sarah. Sarah is the lady who wears a bridal gown, who is sometimes accompanied by a boy who wears a suit, and who happens to disappear together with a boy in a cloud of steam that comes from nowhere. There's also another lady who wears a tennis skirt, who is normally seen by witnesses walking down the stairs and disappears behind a pillar. Then there are ladies, although witnesses were not quite clear about how many really are there, who are in their 1930s bathing suit. Today, the pool room has been closed and is not part of the tour within the Queen Mary. The owners claim that there are some constructions going on making it impossible to get in. However, visitors who were able to get the chance to visit the pool rooms before it was closed to the public posted pictures of the pool rooms online, all abandoned, bare, and not well lit, and are still creepy as hell. Just imagine seeing them all at once and seeing them disappear at the same time too. Okay, at number 6, the Lady in Mauritania room. The Queen Mary is haunted in general, but wait, there's more. There are specific rooms in the hotel that have earned its reputation that the thought of being inside these rooms is horrifying. One of these rooms is the Mauritania room. The workers of the Queen Mary ship say that, among all the rooms in the ship, this is one among the few specific rooms where a lot of sighting of a lady ghost sitting on the chair happens. This is one very indulging ghost. In 1989, cleaners were sent to the room to prep it for a VIP reception. Upon entering, the cleaners were able to see a chair in the middle of the room and a woman sitting on it. The woman does not seem to notice them at all, and the cleaners thought she was just one of the passengers. Then a third cleaner came in and said that the woman was staring at her, and she was told by the woman to move. When one of them tried to call security, all of them witnessed the woman vanished out of thin air. Since then, the ghost woman seems to enjoy the room's ambience, that she often stays there allowing visitors to see or feel her presence. Oh my god, I would have been peed in my pants if I were the one who saw her vanish in thin air. At number 5, the touchy-feely ghost in the Mayfair room. The Mayfair room got its reputation because of the ghost who likes to touch people. It was used to be a salon in the ship, but now served as one of the offices of the hotel. The ghost appears in a transparent figure in white. Some say it's a woman, while others say it is probably a man. It was in 2001 when one of the workers came in early in the office. She got in after a while. She felt some presence near her, making her uncomfortable. A few moments later, she felt someone brushing the back of her hair. She turned and was horrified to see that no one was in the room but her. She suddenly rushed out of the office and waited for the rest of her office mates to arrive before coming back in. She told what happened and knew that most of them have experienced the same incident. So much for paranormal encounters. At number 4, the responsive hot spots. Inside the Queen Mary, the hot spots are the areas where visitors, ghost hunters, or paranormal investigators easily see apparitions or where they feel ghosts respond the most. It's dark, It's secluded because most of them are located at the bottom of the ship, and other than it's cold. Sometimes people who visit the areas can feel a sudden change of temperature, which is usually interpreted to happen because of a quote, presence. These hotspots areas include the engine room, the safe room, the R deck, the storage room, the wheelhouse propeller box, and the isolation ward. Visitors say that if you try to call out ghosts or make noises for them to respond to in these places, you will definitely get a treat. Happy ghost hunting. At number 3, the isolation room at B deck. The Queen Mary ship, being as massive as it is, prepared for health conditions that may arise during the voyage, hence the isolation room. Passengers with contagious disease, or is sick for that matter, is placed in the isolation room. This is to avoid infecting or causing other patients to acquire sickness. Most often than not, patients die in this room. During the war, the isolation room was made into a makeshift prison. Guests who stay overnight at the hotel and decides to go on an adventure during nighttime claims to say that the area is eerily silent. Then sometimes you hear singing or tapping, and sometimes whispers that makes the hair on your neck stand up. At number 2, the man in overalls at door number 13. Yes, some say they seen them wear white overalls. Others say the man wears a blue one. Who knows? He died in 1966. If some of his mates are still alive, maybe we can pay them a visit and ask what color overalls did he wore that time he died. It was in 1966 when an 18-year-old crew named John Pedder died when he got caught in between a closing door in the engine room. Door number 13. He was free after the rest of the crew noticed he was crushed. He was able to reach the hospital but was proclaimed dead as he was almost split into half. One of the tour guides claims that he has seen Pedder on one of her tours. She was guiding a group of visitors towards a new area when she noticed that someone was behind her. She said on one of her interviews that she shouldn't have turned back despite feeling someone was there. Unfortunately, she did. She was able to see a man, but not his face, in overalls. She asked if he was one of the crew. She looked back to her group, and when she turned back, the man was gone. I would have run towards the group if I saw that. That's really scary. I just couldn't imagine where she got the courage to ask the question. At number 1, room 340. If you have read a few articles and watched a few videos about the Queen Mary ship, no article or video forgets to mention room 340. Why did this room land in our number 1 list? Just listen carefully. In the 1960s, one of the male passengers of the ship went cray-cray and murdered 2 women passengers. He was arrested and was imprisoned in one of the following vacant rooms, B222, B224, or B226, with a guard posted outside. A few moments later, the man kept banging on the door and continuously shouted that someone was in there with him. The guard just didn't mind him and thought he was just acting up. Moments later, the room where the man was imprisoned was silent. The guard thought he grew himself tired and fell asleep. The following day, the police came over to arrest him and found the man dead on the floor. The man appears to have been ripped apart. His limbs and entrails were all over the place. Who on earth could rip himself apart? And who in their right mind would do that? The man's death was still a mystery to this day. 7 years later, the 3 rooms were joined together and were named Room 340. The room has been closed for more than 30 years. When the owners decided to open it to the public, those that visit the room claims to feel someone was watching them. Others say see apparitions or hear the faucets turning on and off on its own. Sometimes, some visitors even hear loud knocks or screams. As if it ain't freaky enough, the room has a Ouija board, candles, devil cards? What the hell is that? and crystal balls that those with a brave heart can use to talk to spirits. I mean, who in their right mind would literally scare themselves more when the place is giving you the chills. Would you like to embark on a paranormal adventure? Would you take the challenge of doing it on board the Queen Mary? Do you have your personal scary story? Let us know about it by writing your comments below. Alright, that is it for our list today. I would love it if you would be able to subscribe to our channel and hit like. We would also appreciate it if you would be able to share our content with your friends. We upload new and informative contents every day, so you can click the notification bell for you to get updates once a new video is ready for you. So, do you like our list for today? What type of top 10s would you like to see next? Feel free to comment below. Again, this is Jane Lee, and see you next time.